There are some places that inspire fear in people. Dark alleys, haunted mansions, caves, Chicago, New York, Los Angeles, the Olive Garden. There are many places that inspire a little bit of fear in people. And add to that list, southern Minnesota. Southern Minnesota, you say? Are you nuts? I submit that I am not. You need look no farther than your local newspaper police reports to find tons of calls about suspicious people, suspicious vehicles, suspicious circumstances. So all these suspicious calls really make one wonder, what's going on in our quaint little part of the state? Or is it just time for a new view about suspicious activity? What is it about a person, a place, or a thing, what English scholars refer to as nouns, suspicious? What makes it appear to be something that's more scary or more frightening than it really is? Is it the clothes they wear? Because that would open a whole new can of worms. For example, what about those big pants that young men wear? That's what I call suspicious. I mean, when you see a young man, scrawny, 135-pound, wearing a pair of pants that have more material than all the tents in the entire Barnum and Bailey circus, something's wrong with that. Makes me want to ask a couple of questions. First off, where do they find pants that big? I need pants that big, and I can never find them in the store when I look. And the other question, this is really suspicious. What is it that's in the back of those pants that make them hang down so low? What's suspicious to one person might be totally normal to another person. Like this picture of this guy taken during last year's Martin County Fair. Now, if you saw this man standing on a dark street corner, maybe suspicious. But if you saw him standing in line at Starbucks or mowing his lawn, he wouldn't even rate a second glance. Well, okay, any way you see this guy, it's going to be creepy. But that's beside the point. Suspicion is often aroused when a normal thing is seen in a different context. For example, a small child, normal thing, operating heavy construction equipment. That's suspicious. That's always suspicious. Now, let me make my point further by showing you this picture of Fairmont Mayor Randy Quiring. When you see the mayor crossing the street on Downtown Plaza, that's not suspicious. But when you see him walking through the woods looking back over his shoulder, completely different deal. It brings a lot of questions. Who's he meeting? Where's he going? How much money's involved? You know, those are the kind of questions we have. Or what about this one? I wonder if he had to get a special big gavel made to use at city council meetings. I think people need to get a new view of what's suspicious and what's not. Police reports are printed all the time, and they're full of things with suspicious circumstances, suspicious vehicle, suspicious person and such. Well, those calls are actually suspicious in their own right, adding to the entire suspicious mystique. To keep law enforcement lines open for real emergencies, like not being able to get a hot pastrami sandwich, or somebody actually eating a fruitcake, you have to know what is and what isn't suspicious. You have to determine what constitutes suspicious activity. For example, what's a suspicious vehicle? Well, let me show you this picture. That's a suspicious vehicle. Have you ever wondered why anybody would be driving one of those things? What about a suspicious vehicle anyway? What is that? Is it a car sitting in one place for an extended period of time without moving? We call that parking. Everything is not suspicious. Everything you see, everyone that's moving, everything that's going on doesn't need to be called in. Think about why a person would be standing in a dark alley wearing a wetsuit, holding a two-handed broadsword in one hand and a satchel full of cash in the other, looking around kind of nervously while sirens are blaring in the background. Maybe they're just part of an underwater medieval reenactors group raising funds for their Relay for Life team. Could be. We're suspiciously out of time in this segment of A New View, so I'm your suspicious host, Dave Smith, encouraging you to take a different look at life with a new angle and a new view.